I'll tell you a story about my life as a teacher, trainer, working with people all over the world, speaking at the UN, working with the Dalai Lama, all kinds of things that I've had the privilege of being part of in this lifetime. And the amazing, amazing clients and people I've met all over the world, and the breakthroughs that have happened, and the differences they've made, and all of the impact that they've brought. But none of that was happening to me way back in 1971. I'd had the recovery from my kidney disease miraculously in '67. Now I was just getting myself into undergraduate school in 1971, so I could become a have my certification to be a teacher. I thought I wanted to teach grade school back then, and so I'm so happy to be getting into college. I've got two little boys now by then, and I'm taking them down to Portland, Oregon, in the daycare center there nearby for them. My 3-year-old and my 5-year-old or 3 and 4-year-old. It was fruit and flower daycare. It was like an early Montessori school. And I heard about this man that was speaking, and I wanted to go to his lecture. So my husband at the time, my husband and I went to that lecture, and when he was lecturing, he said, in the mix, I don't remember, and we kind of went because somebody else told us we really needed to go, but I wanted to go, and we went. And when he was lecturing, he said, nothing is bad unless you think it's bad. And I just recoiled, and I'm sitting there. Now, I'm 22 or 3 years old, so I'm young, and I know pretty much everything, of course, at that age. But nevertheless, there was nothing in me that believed that. He says, nothing is bad unless you think it's bad. And I'm thinking inside myself, and I don't know if I actually crossed my arms or if I just energetically crossed my arms, but I remember thinking, that is not true. That simply is not true. There is bad stuff in this world. Car wrecks are bad, murder's bad, war is bad. Come on, there's bad stuff here. And while I'm thinking these thoughts, he pauses and he looks around the audience and he goes, I know what you're thinking. And I will agree with you. There are things in this world that every single one of us would love to see changed and love to help make change. But here's the truth. In everything, there is some good. And if you want to do an experiment with this, it's not the thing itself that makes it good or bad. It's what you do with it in your mind and your actions that will make it good or bad. If you decide it's going to be bad, you're going to have your way. If you decide, I'm going to find some good in this, watch what happens. So let me give you a tool to use that can become an experiment. The next time something happens in your life, that immediately your knee-jerk response is, this is bad, this is really bad. The moment that happens, hit your internal pause button and wait 3 days. But don't just wait 3 days. During that 3 days, turn up your curiosity on what possible good there could be in this situation. And then after 3 days, if you can't find any good in that situation, go ahead and get all upset. You haven't surrendered your ability or your freedom to get all upset and frustrated by it, but just give it a chance. Try this experiment. Try this out. So we left, and I just like, I don't know, different things. I had never been in personal development or professional development. I had yet got my master's degree in counseling psychology and learned some self-reflection tools. I hadn't learned a lot of things. So, we left the lecture. 2 days later, my kid's dad comes home, and when he walks in at 5 o'clock, I'm looking at him. He's an hour early, first and foremost, and secondly, he looks ashen. I said, what happened? And he said, there was a massive layoff at work today. 100 of us got laid off. And I was like, my first thought is, oh my God, this is so bad. This is so bad. I mean, I'm in school, how am I going to stay in school? And how are we going to survive? We got little kids. And I'm just like ramping up my panic. And I said, wait a minute. That guy a couple of days ago said, the next time something happens that feels really bad and we're thinking we should just say this is bad, wait 3 days. He said, what do you say? He said, hit your internal pause button. And I looked like, where is that? How do I find that? And wait 3 days, but don't just wait 3 days. During that time, turn up the volume on your curiosity about what possible good there can be in this. So let's see, it's 5 o'clock, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 5 o'clock. If we can't find any good in this by Friday at 5 o'clock, then we'll panic. I mean, literally, that's what I said. And it was the first experience in all of my life that I began to realize I could schedule my own panic. Instead of being a panic button just waiting for circumstances to punch my panic button and get me panicked, or something to happen and punch that button and get me reactive about something. I'll wait 3 days. After we got the kids to bed that night, we sat down. He got out a piece of paper. He was way better at it than I was. I was just still working my hardest just to not freak out. Wasn't very skillful yet in having an experience without the experience having me. And even though I said we won't panic till Friday, panic was rising up in me, and I'd have to say Friday at 5, Friday at 5, Friday at 5. Meanwhile, we're sitting that night writing, and he says, well, let's list every possible good there could be. I said, my first response, how can there be any good in this? There's no good in this. He says, well, I drive 90 minutes to work and 90 minutes back every day. What if I work closer to home? Well, and my response is, where are you going to find a job like that? He says, well, we're just looking for possible good here, right? So he wrote, work closer to home. Drive fewer hours. Drive less hours each day. He says, well, what if I work shorter hours? I said, where are you going to get a job where you're working shorter hours? He said, but what if I did? And he was willing to lean into the what if this good could be here, where I'm in the how. And this is important for you, brave thinker. This is important for you in using a rocky time, a difficult time, the world is shaking time, for you to be able to be more than the difficulty you're riding on or moving through. Don't get stuck on the how right now, but be very clear about the what. So the what was, what if I worked shorter hours? What if I made more money? And the next day as we did this again, it was, what if I worked so close to home I could actually ride my bike? He was a bike rider. He loved to ride his bike. What if I could ride my bike to work? What if I loved what I was doing instead of just trading my time for money? Well, what kind of job would do that? He said, I'm just saying, but what if I did? And he wrote this like 4 or 5 things that if that could happen, he would love that. I didn't yet know the power of visioning what you would love. Putting yourself, your soul, your energy in harmony with love, the vibration of love expressed by means of you. Khalil Gibran, the poet, once said that work is love made visible. Your true work is love made visible. And so he was imagining doing something that really moved in him. We didn't have the words for this. We didn't understand the physics of it yet at all. But this is what was going on. We were trying on this tool. And so because he was thinking, well, what if I work closer to home? What if I could ride my bike to work? Ideas of places that he might apply, instead of ideas of places that were near where he had worked before, began to occur to him. And so Wednesday, he went out and he started leaving applications. Some said they were not hiring, but that he could leave an application. Other places wouldn't take an application. Other places said, go ahead and leave the application. So we had a variety of responses. He came home that night. Thursday, he got some phone calls, and he went out and had some interviews. And when I got home from school, bringing the boys home from Fruit and Flower Daycare on a Thursday, I walked in, and he was beaming. I said, what happened today? He got a better paying job, closer to home, shorter hours, much closer to home. He could actually ride his bike back and forth to work. This was Thursday. My panic wasn't even scheduled till Friday. And it was the first time that I really began to see the power that's in each one of us, to have an experience without the experience having us. Now again, that doesn't happen to you. It has to happen with you. And it is the way that you orient yourself to the experience you're having.